Recovery doesn't start tomorrow. Recovery starts right now. Here to help, it's Rated R for Recovery.
It's a familiar song to you, isn't it, young lady?
I'm so excited.
What better medicine for a cold?
That's right. I'm impressed, and I don't impress easy.
We are Rated R for Recovery. We are podcasting all over the world.
Worldwide.
We are. Let's get right into it, huh? I'm an alcoholic that doesn't drink, a drug addict that doesn't use, and a dead man that walks among the living, and that's by no righteous deed of my own. And my name is Fletch.
Hey, Fletch. I'm just a girl who can't say no. My name's Joy Thomas.
Welcome back.
Yay.
We did one show without you, which was extremely disheartening.
I'm sorry about that.
It was like a part of me was missing.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to do a show alone either.
I understand.
All right.
All right. We have a wonderful show in store for you as we are let's start by telling you what we are and what we're not. First of all, what we're not.
We're not counselors.
No.
We're not lawyers.
No.
We're not doctors.
No. What are we?
We're people who have experience to share, experience, strength, and hope of finding a way out from addiction.
To solve our common problem and maybe help others?
Oh, and help others.
That's what the 12 suggestion says, doesn't it? Our 12 suggestion. You don't like that?
Well, there's suggestions, just like it's suggested that you pull the ripcord on your parachute if you jump out of an airplane.
Right. Or to put the oxygen mask on your own face before you put it on your brother or sisters. We talk about all things recovery related. Like I like to say, everybody has a grandparent, a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a niece, a nephew, a coworker, a neighbor, a friend that has been somehow affected by alcohol and drug addiction. Would you find that to be true?
It's everywhere.
It is. Today is no different, and we are blessed to have in the studio a mother and son duo.
How about that?
Yeah.
Working together.
Yes. And we're going to talk to the son first. And what should we call you? Do you want us to call you by your name?
Sure.
Hold the microphone to your mouth.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right.
Absolutely. So your name is Thomas?
Yes.
Thomas, how old are you?
31.
And where do you hail from?
Shady Side, Maryland.
The shady side of Maryland? Or that's a town?
It is a town in Maryland. It's on a six-mile peninsula.
I spent many a fond memory in Havre de Grace, Maryland, as a young person.
It's a beautiful
My grandmother
place.
lived there. So when did this stuff start with you?
12 years old.
And what was that?
Marijuana.
And so you're smoking weed?
Not now.
Huh? No, not now. I know that. Back then.
Yes, I was smoking a lot of weed.
You know, Joy, you know the what they say about the gateway drug?
Yeah.
Do you think marijuana is the gateway drug?
I don't know about gateways.
I know the gateway.
I think almost anything can be a door to something else.
I think 90% is alcohol. That's the gateway. That's the gateway drug.
The gateway arch.
All right. So go ahead.
I think for whatever substance you pick up first, if you're an alcoholic and a drug addict, that's your gateway.
Amen. But it's been my experience, and it could be just me, that I started with alcohol first. The very first mind-altering substance I put in my body was alcohol.
Yeah, however, Thomas, not so much.
No, so much.
Yeah.
No?
It might even have been nicotine. I think it could.
I don't know if nicotine's a mind-altering substance, so it could be. I don't know. Like we say at the beginning of the show, we're not chemists. All right.
We just think we are. We just play one on TV.
I used to play a doctor on the radio years ago. So go ahead. In other words, how did this start to grow, and how did it start to affect you and then your family?
Well, right away at 12 years old, I absolutely loved it. I loved pot and did whatever I could on a daily basis to make sure that I had pot. That grew into acceptance of other substances, LSD, mushrooms, ecstasy, cocaine at 18, heavy cocaine use at 19, crack cocaine at 24.
Let's go back to the marijuana. You said you would do anything to make sure that you had weed.
Yes.
When I was a late bloomer. I didn't start smoking weed till I was 16. And I had a job, so weed was not very expensive. In fact, an ounce of marijuana at that time cost $20, $25 maybe. By the time I was a senior in high school, it had jumped exponentially to $40 a bag.
That's what I paid.
And did you work, though?
Yes, I worked at 14 years old.
You had to get the weed.
Well, that and, my parents had cases of soda, and I would take 12 packs of soda to school every day and sell them.
Enterprising.
Yes, I enterprised. Cartons of cigarettes I would steal and sell. Also, I worked in school. I took culinary arts, and we made pizza, cookies, and sold sodas, and I always raised the price to make more money.
Absolutely.
Plus, school lunch was $1.10, and I would save that money all week and not eat lunch in school.
Wow.
And, that and a gang of other people that were doing the same thing to make sure that we had pot. There was a whole group of us. That's what we did.
Wow, that's interesting.
And so it was a lot of fun.
It was great at first.
Yeah, and then what?
And then it then it became habitual. And, it didn't matter what I had to do. I always said that my parents threw me out of the house, but they didn't like that I smoked pot. So,
What?
Yeah, I know. It was, all the kids were doing it. So, I would run away, live in the woods, stay at friends' houses, rob neighbors, break into cars in the middle of the night, whatever I had to do to smoke pot. And my life was unmanageable at, 13 years old.
You were 13 at this time.
13 to 17, that's what I did.
Wow. When marijuana was very, very prevalent and very acceptable, I think, at one time, wasn't it, Joy?
It depends on where you lived.
How about you?
I didn't like to smoke, so I didn't smoke pot until I was about 18. But when I started drinking at 11, it was very soon after that drugs were around. It was 1968, so there were a lot of drugs. There was pot. And
You weren't 18 in 1968.
No, I was 11.
No, so was I.
Yeah, that's when I started. And there was a lot of pot around, although I didn't smoke it, but the kids in my neighborhood did.
Right? Yeah.
But I
I can remember high school. It was like acceptable. The principal, everybody knew. The teachers knew. There was a courtyard in our high school, and people smoked weed out there. And it was against the law, of course. And people, they didn't say go ahead and smoke weed, but they turned their head. Was it the same where you grew up?
It seemed to be more of a ha ha ha. Kids will be kids. Get that out of here.
And how about for our guest, Thomas? Was that the same where at that age? That's a very young age, 13. That's not high school. That's junior high.
Yeah, it was junior high. It wasn't accepted. We had to hide it, but, there were a lot of adults around in the neighborhoods that did it,
Huh.
families.
Wow. See, that wasn't the case. So anyway, so you're 13. When did you? How soon did you start it? Well, you started suffering consequences because mom and dad said you can't live here and do this, right? Is that what you're?
Well, it's not that, I was underage, so I would run away. It's not that I couldn't live there. It's that I was grounded. I wasn't allowed to leave the house. I wasn't allowed to have any friends. I wasn't allowed to use the computer. I wasn't allowed, I was grounded. And I didn't like that, so I did my own thing. Until I was sick and tired of that, and I came crawling back.
Joy, who do we hurt the most when we went through our stuff, what we do?
That's really hard to say. Of course, we hurt ourselves tremendously in ways that we don't even know, but our families who have to stand by and watch and not know what to do, that's probably the worst situation to be in.
Right. Okay. And did you? I wonder if that hum, was that your hum?
That was my whistle.
Okay. I think that if your cell phones aren't off in the studio, please do so at this time. So that I've always been told what Joy said, that we hurt the ones we love the most, and the ones that love us, and that's where this terrible, terrible affliction that we have suffered through affects those people most. You started smoking marijuana at whatever age that was now that you're talking about, and this grew into a different drugs. You just wanted to try different stuff because you were a kid and you wanted to try it, right?
Right. If it was available at that time. The one thing that I wasn't going to do that I was afraid of was cocaine. But when I was 18, I was 17. It was the millennium, and the 3 hottest chicks in school were doing lines in the bathroom at a party, and I kept saying no, 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 and finally did it.
How old are you at this point?
At that point, 17.
So you're a senior in high school?
Yes.
Yeah. Popular kid?
Not exactly. I was a chameleon.
Okay.
I would fit in with wherever I wanted to fit in.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
I can identify with that. How about you?
I was the stoner.
Oh, yeah.
Joy, was your experience about the same then?
Yeah, I was the queen of the nerds.
I don't mean the
and-
hot chicks sorting lines.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of hung out with whoever had the alcohol and, just kind of fit in with them.
Okay, so you did your first couple of lines of cocaine at this time. Is that
Yes.
true? And how did that? What's the relationship with your mom and dad at this point, senior in high school? You'd run away, you'd come back. They'd let you back in when you came back?
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Multiple times. I had been arrested twice at that point as a minor for possession of pot. And I was getting in little stupid trouble here and there, but my relationship with my family was always good, They just didn't like the choices that I made. They didn't like the people that I hung out with. They didn't like what I was doing.
Are you an only child?
No, I've got an older brother, 14 months and 10 days older.
Ah,
Not that I'm counting.
no. You. And what was he up to at this time?
He was drinking a lot then. He was smoking a little bit of pot, but for him, it never went past marijuana. But he gave me my first joint. He gave me my first pill of ecstasy. So, we hung around the same people.
Yeah. Got along okay?
We fought a little bit. It's gotten better as we've grown older, that relationship.
Uh-huh.
It was a love-hate relationship.
Any early
as children.
resentments that mom and dad liked him better? Anything like that?
Always.
Oh, yeah?
Always.
Okay. Interesting.
Because he got to do things, and when he made a mistake, it was...
The consequences weren't the same?
Well, I was never even allowed to try to see if I would make that mistake or not. They learned that, he screwed this up, so we're not going to let the younger one try that.
Ah. And that included stuff that might be fun and harmless?
Yes.
For instance, have any of us gotten in trouble by doing something fun and harmless? Like, in other words, you think that going out and finding a new place to live would be okay, but if you smoke crack and steal a cab, it's not okay.
Yeah.
So these things happen that all of a sudden, I'm not too comfortable with who I am.
Yeah, definitely not. I was outcast. I felt that I was outcast, that I didn't fit in with a certain crowd. And smoking pot gave me a clique. It gave me a group that I felt comfortable with. Alcohol wasn't, I would drink it, but I didn't like adding the two together, So I liked pot so much that I chose not to drink.
Okay.
But that changed as the years went on.
I'm very similar to that. Joy, you were not, right? Alcohol was that was your thing.
Yeah, I love the alcohol. I would take just about anything you would put in my hand. I used to take pills, but I didn't like to smoke, so I didn't smoke anything.
I on the other hand, I drank kind of. I was like I don't know what you'd call me. I call myself an alcoholic.
Garbage can.
A what?
Garbage
no,
can.
because I wasn't. Because I wouldn't take the pills in high school. I would smoke the weed. I'd smoke the hash and everything that went along with marijuana, the hash oil, all the different weird stuff that they came around with. But I wasn't taking the pills. I saw Jim W. in high school had just taken some what they call sopas, which was a form of Quaalude, and he was out of his mind. He was falling down, and I didn't want to look like that. So but I would take the speed I'm just here again. Okay, so all right, so
See, I didn't care what it made me look like. I only cared how it made me feel.
yeah,
If it made me feel good, I wanted more of it.
yeah. I smoked angel dust one time, and I remember that made me feel really bad. I hated it. Did you ever smoke the angel dust?
Oh yeah, but I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh, I remember because it was I mean the room seemed like it was 4 feet tall, and I was like, it was just weird. It
Alice
just,
in Wonderland.
yes, exactly. I think she was smoking dust. That's what I think that comes from. So okay, so now you're a senior in high school. How long does this go on for? How long does this craziness go on for? Well, how long are you sober?
I'm a year sober now.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So this went on for quite a long time.
Yes, it went on for a long time. I was introduced into the rooms at 22.
How?
My mom dropped me off at a, yeah,
Get out and get some help.
Go get
now,
help.
when you say the rooms, what does that mean?
12-step programs.
Okay, good. And did you think you needed it? What
No,
was your reaction?
absolutely
No.
not. I thought she was crazy. You know, she knew. She knew. I just wasn't ready to admit.
Has your mom ever been wrong?
No.
Isn't that tough to say?
Yeah.
That how we go through all these things, and when we look back, Mom was always right.
She's never guided me in the wrong direction.
Exactly.
Ever.
Even though we think they were being guided in the wrong
Absolutely.
direction, it never works out that way. How was your dad's reaction to all this? Did he beat you down, or did he just say, "I throw my hands up"? What was he like?
It was almost like he was in the background of it. You know, Mom wears the pants in the family. Dad, you know, kind of sat back and just watched.
Right.
You know, it wasn't until I got older that relationship grew. By him sharing a little bit of his experience with alcohol and drug use. Not that I never saw it in my mom or my dad. I don't think I think I've seen my mom drunk once.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Little green substance.
All right. Okay.
called Apple teenies.
Yeah, I think my mom. It was Joy. Your experience too. I need you to chime in on this, and we'll comment as we go along with our own experience with our parents.
My mom drank a lot when she divorced my father, and then she met a guy, and he didn't like the drinking, so she quit drinking. That's what I remember about it.
She could just put it down.
It seemed like she was drinking too much, and then she just sort of had a reason to quit, so she quit, which is, you know, what some people call a hard drinker.
And my mom would have a rye and water, and it would be the same drink at the end of the night. Never more than she never had more than one. When my sister got married, she got drunk and she was asleep by just after the wedding. She was like asleep right away.
It's a stressful time.
It is. Dad was probably a moderate drinker. Never drank at home unless they had parties. Always stopped on the way home for one drink with the fellas. That's what he always used to say. I won, and then he got a hole in one playing golf one time, and he was really drunk that night. So that's so.
It's understandable.
Hopefully, your husband won't get a hole in one and get drunk.
So how bad did it get, Thomas? What was the bottom?
I believe my bottom was emotionally rather than physically. But at the same time, it was kind of physically. I was walking the streets of what we call Pine Manor and realized that, wow, I'm going to be a crackhead for the rest of my life. And for some reason, at that point in time, I think I was 25 years old, and I didn't know there was a way out. You know, I didn't think that the 12-step program would work. You know, I had my mind shut off to the fact that was even a possibility. But I had realized that from the beginning of smoking pot, those people were right. You
Right.
know, the drugs, the alcohol, it all led to more, and it led to pitiful and incomprehensible demoralization of literally having nowhere to go, wearing the same clothes for 28 days, without showering, without brushing my teeth, walking the streets of Pine Manor, skipping and hiding in sheds and sleeping in the woods, and realize, wow, I'm a crackhead. I'm what I said I would never be.
Wow. For those of you who don't know, we broadcast each and every week from Southwest Florida, and Thomas is speaking about a not so nice neighborhood in our area when he speaks of Pine Manor. And what we're going to do is we're going to get to the positive side of all this, and we're going to hear from Thomas's mother, what they're doing now, how this all this affected Thomas's mom and their family. And we're going to take a pause. And Joy, did you want to say something? You're looking at me like you have something to say, but no. Okay, so we'll be right back. We're going to play some songs for you too that have something to do with recovery as well. And so we'll be right back after this message. We are Rated R for Recovery.
Every Friday night at 6:45 p.m., experience Celebrate Recovery at Grace Church at 13 Southeast 21st Place in Cape Coral. The purpose of Celebrate Recovery is to encourage fellowship and to celebrate God's healing power in our lives as we work our way along the road to recovery. By working through the 12 steps and 8 principles of Celebrate Recovery, we grow spiritually and we are freed from our hurts, habits, and hang-ups. Celebrate Recovery every Friday night at 6:45 p.m. at Grace Church, 13 Southeast 21st Place in Cape Coral.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254. Have you been considering a kitchen renovation or bathroom remodeling? There's no one better to call than the professionals at Honey's Construction. Value, beauty, and functionality. Get the right design for your kitchen or bathroom and add significant value to your home. Call Honey's Construction today at 229-4934 for a free in-home consultation. Honey's Construction's purpose and mission is to fulfill dreams and to be grateful for the many blessings we enjoy each and every day. 229-4934.
If you're looking for a place to find recovery, please consider the 1149 Foundation, located at 50 Pine Island Drive in North Fort Myers in the AutoZone Plaza. We currently have 3 meetings per day at noon, 5:30, and 8 p.m. We've been offering this area a safe place for over 20 years. No matter what you've done, no matter where you've been, you're not alone, and are welcome at the 1149 Foundation. Come check us out or call 677-6107. That's 677-6107.
Get the taste of home while eating out. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering. Open daily for breakfast and lunch and located at 2400 First Street in downtown Fort Myers. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering specializes in homemade soups, salads, sandwiches, and desserts. And Gwendolyn's has been rated 5 stars by Urban Spoon and Yelp. Get the taste of home while dining out. Or let us bring the taste of home to your home with our free delivery. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering, 2400 First Street, downtown Fort Myers. Take full advantage of the beauty of Southwest Florida and spend the day with Estero River Outfitters. Located on 41 just north of Corkscrew Road, this historic location since 1977 offers kayak and canoe rentals and sales, a full fishing tackle shop, and live bait. Spend the day on the Estero River, kayaking, canoeing, or fishing. This is the only location in Southwest Florida where you can really try before you buy. Estero River Outfitters on 41 just north of Corkscrew Road. Open daily from 7 a to 6 p. Visit EsteroRiverOutfitters.com for more.
A Heavenly Cut Landscaping and Celebrate Pressure Washing has been serving Lee County for over 7 years. Commercial and residential landscaping is our specialty. We also have an experienced pressure cleaning staff as well. A Heavenly Cut Landscaping and Celebrate Pressure Washing offers a free on-site estimate and is available by calling 738-9009. That's 738-9009. We are grateful for the opportunity to help beautify your property. Call today, 738-9009. A Heavenly Cut Landscaping and Celebrate Pressure Washing.
That's going to leave a mark. But not if you bring your vehicle to D-Hab Your Automotive Rehab, your one-stop shop for all auto body work and paint. No job too big or small. With over 25 years experience, D-Hab can make your vehicle look like the accident never happened. D-Hab Your Automotive Rehab is located at 2534 Highland Street, 1 block off Edison Avenue in Fort Myers. So if you have a scratch, ding, dent, or bent, call D-Hab Your Automotive Rehab at 332-1813.
My name is April, and I'm an addict. I totaled my car and trashed the best guy I ever had before I got help. Thank God for Swaffis. They saved my life. Now I go for counseling once a week, and life is good.
Alcohol and drug problems don't have to ruin your life. SWAFIS has outpatient, detox, and residential programs for all. Addiction is a disease. Recovery is possible. We will help. Call 332-6989 now or visit us online at swfas.org. Designs that are enduring. Designs that are engaging. Designs from Ensight. Ensight is a leading Florida-based design, planning, and engineering firm offering innovative planning, landscape architecture, civil engineering, and more. Whether it's a place to live, work, learn, shop, or play, let the award-winning design team at Ensight help you achieve today's needs and tomorrow's possibilities. Call Ensight at 226-0024 or online at en-site.com.
You knocking at my cellar door. I love you, baby, can I have some more? Ooh, the damage done. I hit the city and I lost my band. I watched the needle take another man. Gone, gone, the damage done.
You're listening for Rated R for Recovery. That is a song by Neil Young. I still get chills every time I hear that song.
Yeah, me too.
Do you hear it?
I can't hear you. I can hear the song.
You can't hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe our producer will work on that right now.
All right.
Did you hear that? Joy can't hear me. The song was Neil Young, The Needle and the Damage Done. Our guest in the studio here at Rated R for Recovery, you hear me now? No?
No.
You don't hear me?
Not,
okay.
no.
You know, she can't hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay. All right, let's do this.
All right, our guests in the studio, Thomas and Colleen, from Thomas's Sober House? Living Sober.
You named the house after the addict.
That's correct.
Okay, no, we can't hear Mom.
That's correct.
Okay. All right, you hear me now, Joy?
Yes.
Okay.
That's all better.
You can hear everything?
Good. I can hear
We all
everything.
can hear. All right, so you got a son that's an addict.
I do.
Okay, and then it came full circle where you're going to say, I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to put it out there. All the addicts can come and live here, and I'm going to call it Thomas's Living Sober House.
Well,
Yeah, not exactly.
Okay, I didn't think so.
so what was it like to watch the son that you loved go down that road?
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. Addiction runs in our family, so I knew what it was. I didn't know where it was going to take him, but I knew what it was. So it was horrible.
So from the beginning, you said, he's got it. He's got this thing.
Yeah, this was a topic of conversation at the dinner table because
From the time he was
born.
Oh my.
What? No, I mean, not he. You mean the topic of conversation was the family's struggle with addiction.
That's correct.
And
Yeah.
it started when, like, with
on
your
both sides. It's on both sides. So we told both of the boys that you need to be really cognizant of the fact that this runs in the family. It's in your DNA.
I have an addictive personality.
It could happen to you very easily, and you need not to do these things. But you can't tell a kid that, because if you tell them you can't do this, I think it makes them want to experiment even more.
How can something so good be so bad?
Right.
Did it start with, and you do, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to do this often. You have to speak right into the microphone.
Okay.
There, like that.
That's
That's
good.
great.
Okay.
Now, did it start with stupid stuff like Legos, and did you notice like an obsession with
Legos
Play-Doh
obsession.
and GI Joes, or
Not really. When he was very young in elementary school, they wanted to label him ADD. So they called his dad and I in for a conference at school and said, your child has ADD. Well, I didn't know what ADD was. So we researched that. We took him to doctors. The doctors medicated him. The medication didn't change anything. So we took him off the meds. We're like, I'm not going to give him medication that doesn't change his behavior. The teachers would say, I don't understand him. He gets A's and he shaves crayons all day. Or he spins his pencils and sharpens... like he's not paying attention, like he's not there, but he's really there. Then when you test him, he passed the test. He was bored.
there's a lot to be said for shaving crayons.
Yes. So It
Now,
started at a very young age.
How about the brother? Did the brother have these stuff going
They're
on?
total opposite. I can't believe they have the same blood.
Okay,
No, they
you
don't
need
even
to
look
talk into
alike.
the microphone too if you want to say
We
something.
don't even look alike.
Okay.
The brother wore Huskies, and Thomas wore Slims.
So the sort of built like your husband, the brother.
Yes.
Your brother's. Your husband's a big man.
Well, they're adopted, so that blood doesn't run there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Well, I'm confused now.
We're all confused. But beside the point, you got this child that you don't really know what to do with almost from the get-go.
I didn't know what to do with him, and there were times he was suicidal, and some of that came from being ostracized. He was ostracized. He was teased because he was what he considers the runt. I'm not naming him that. He named himself that. But he was a preemie, and he never caught up. Just never caught up. He was this tiny little skinny, he played football, and he played on a 105-pound team, and he weighed 68 pounds.
He's still like that.
Yes,
he does
he
it
is,
now.
which is why he always has cuts and broken things.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. He came out unexpected, fast, quick, and that's the way he's done his whole life.
Live hard, die young.
Yes.
Okay. Well, he's not dead, so we
No.
didn't die yet. And this.
However, at the time we started the halfway house and I named it Thomas's halfway house, I didn't know if I was going to be naming it after him, dead or alive, at that point.
Oh, so when. By the way, the house isn't actually a halfway house; it's a sober living house, right?
That's correct.
There's a difference. A halfway house
right.
is someplace you go with it where you're allowed halfway into society. They're allowed to go and do everything a normal person would do. They just have a safe place to come home to.
That's
And they
correct.
have a curfew.
They have a curfew,
Okay.
and it is a sober
What
living
year did
house.
this start?
The house?
Yeah.
2.5 years ago we opened it.
And that is what year? 2011.
2011.
Okay. Is it a? Tell us a little bit about it. It's located in.
It's located in downtown Fort Myers, right across from the old Boston Red Sox training facility.
Okay, so that now we're broadcasting all over the world. So this is a downtown Fort
Red
Myers
Sox
in Southwest
fans,
Florida. Okay, well everybody knows the Boston Red Sox because they're the wicked best team in baseball. That's a little bit prejudiced. So it's in a rural area, an urban type of area, not urban because it's not a city. It's urban.
Yeah,
Yeah?
it's considered
I like the word.
suburban, maybe.
So, well, yeah. It's urban. Yeah, you need to speak into the microphone once
It
again.
is absolutely urban.
Thank you. Okay,
There you go.
All right. Okay, and what's it cost to live there?
It's a $105 move-in fee and $105 a week, which breaks down to $15 a day.
Okay, all right. I'm going to give you a scenario. All right.
Yes.
All right. I'm a 5-time convicted felon. I can't stop smoking crack. I've just been accepted into the felony drug court program, which is all over the United States, I believe now. I can't stop smoking crack, but yet I've been incarcerated now for, let's say, 60 days, roughly 2 months. I've got a program set up for me, but I don't have a dime. Can you help me?
Absolutely.
How?
I can move you in right away.
How?
I just move you in.
Okay. And what happens if I don't have any money? How do I pay my rent?
You have 2 weeks to find a job.
What if I don't find a job in 2 weeks? And I'm trying, and I'm showing you every day. You see me every day going out and filling out applications, and I'm trying my darndest to get a job.
We've had it in every different situation, every different scenario is completely case by case. But there are certain rules and certain regulations that we try our best. It's really hard. I've had a guy there for 6 weeks who hadn't found a job yet, but he was out there every single day busting his butt to find a job.
And that's good to hear that everything is case by case, although sometimes that means you might get burned, yes?
Oh, we get burned quite often. But in the case that he's speaking about, it was an older person, and it's harder for them to find jobs. It's easier for the younger kids or guys or men to find work. You cross a certain threshold, and it's a lot harder, especially in the economy that we've had.
Right, it hasn't been great.
Right, for people to, and so we try to work with them the best that we can.
But we do have a really good community. It seems that a lot of small business owners in Fort Myers, especially in Florida, Southwest Florida, will help people trying to get back on their feet.
Yeah,
This is a great place to get sober.
it is.
Absolutely.
It is. Now, relapse is part of my story. Joy, yours?
Yes.
It is. I don't believe so.
Yes.
Are you fibbing?
No.
Once you came in and you surrendered, had you taken a drink since then?
Not this last time, but I came in before.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Came in 1986 and lasted about a year and a half, but I wasn't sober the whole time.
Briefly, I came in 2008, and 2.5 years, maybe a little bit longer than that, I decided to go out and try smoking crack again. And
How'd that work for you?
not well.
Mm-hmm.
Not well. And the worst part about it was, I don't want to make this about me, but the worst part about it was that I didn't suffer any consequences when I did it that one first night. I told on myself, but I didn't suffer any consequences. And so now back to our guest and his mom. How has relapse affect your recovery?
Relapse has been a learning and a growing experience. The first time I was in a 12-step fellowship was when I was 22. I lasted like 5 days because the guy told me to go back out and drink. I wasn't ready.
I hate when they do that.
His fault.
Yeah, it was a great excuse to tell my mom. The guy told me to go drink. So
I want to interrupt right there.
Yeah.
I want to know your experience with that kind of
I think
help.
that we all hear what we need to hear, and that a person who is an addict who hasn't listened to anyone tell them, all the things that they should do, and yet one person will say, "Why don't you go back out and drink?" And they'll be like, "Oh, they told me to go out and drink, so I did." The one time they choose to follow somebody's advice, give me a break.
And I would agree.
Yeah.
All right, I'm more concerned with really, the part where let's fast forward. You've given up this time. This is the last straw. I'm not doing this anymore.
Absolutely.
And then there was a relapse during that period of time.
Yes. In 2009 was the first time that I fully accepted the fact that I was an alcoholic and a drug addict, and I tried the 12 steps for the first time. I ran through all 12 steps, and after about 2 years, I stopped working the program. And
where were you
after
living
that,
during then?
I was running and operating. At that time, it was called Living Sober House.
Okay, Mom, what does that do to the sober house structure when the person that's in charge of running the sober house goes out and uses?
Well, it threw a monkey wrench into everything, but he really was gone from the house before he actually relapsed. And we like to joke.
Where did he go?
Well, we like to joke in the men's house. I'm going to put it in the wall. I'm going to paint it right on the wall because of a girl, ... And so he was involved with someone else and spending time, instead of working his program, he was working her life, her children, her everything, running for her, taking her back and forth to work. And so his life just went to the side.
Any resentments regarding that?
Now,
For you. I'm
for
talking about
me,
you.
there were. Now, no, because she's gone.
How about if she wasn't gone?
There'd be a major problem.
Okay. Now, do you think it's her fault?
No, it takes two to tango.
All right. Just checking.
Amen.
That's what we're asking questions. That's what we do here.
No, it takes two to tango. And in the girls' houses, it should be written on the wall, painted on the wall because of a boy, ...
Well, there's nothing in written literature that says, but it's one of the suggestions that we don't get into a relationship within our first year. What do you think about that, Joy?
I think that you should not make any major changes in your first year, whatever that may be. If you're in a relationship, it's best not to just chuck it, and throw it away.
You don't go and get divorced.
But if you're not in one, it's best to not go looking for something that'll take you away from your primary focus, which should be your recovery.
And that doesn't necessarily have to be a guy or a girl. It could be your job.
Yes.
It could be whatever you put ahead of your recovery. Doesn't work well in the end.
I agree. I say whatever I put. I've been taught, the people that taught me, and this is just me, that I need to put God first, and then, or what some people call a power greater than myself. I'm a Christian. I put God first, and then recovery, and then everything else seems to work out. I still don't make the great decisions. I'm dating a woman that's very early in recovery, which was not suggested.
That's right.
Yeah.
People get high. People get drunk and high behind that, and ultimately that's where our focus is. It's always on the person's recovery. And even if the person who's in it can't put their recovery first, their support system should always put their recovery first, not their personalities, not what they're doing, not their personal opinions, but we try to help as best we can with our experience, we have over 70 years of experience ultimately in helping
do.
people stay sober, and we try to look at someone's life and say, are they putting their recovery first? If they're not, we try to help point that out. However, that's all we can do is be a signpost and wave our hands and say, the bridge is out, the bridge is out.
I like that. The bridges. I never heard that. You're so good with that type of stuff. All right. So back to Colleen, back to Mom. Just so he had left the sober living. You had left the sober living facility to concentrate on this woman. So your involvement with the sober living house was none at that point?
That's correct.
Okay. And then was that dropping the ball for as far as you were concerned? Was this thing?
Well, yes, he had made a commitment to do that when we had decided that this is something that we wanted to look into doing. And the reason that we did this house was because there was a point where he wasn't allowed to come home anymore. And aside from sleeping in sheds and cars and
Porches.
alleyways and he slept in some halfway houses or sober houses. He slept in some places I wouldn't let my pet stay. And so when my husband and I talked about doing this, we wanted to have a place where they could really come and focus on sobriety and not worry about where they were sleeping and the environment that they were in.
And the few personal belongings that they have.
Right. And so that's what we tried to create. And I like to think that we've done a pretty good job of that. However, we couldn't have done that without Thomas in the beginning. We didn't know what we were doing. We'd never done this. You don't aspire to be the mother of an addict and run a halfway house. Or
I didn't know what I was doing either.
I didn't know that at the time.
We don't. A lot of times we don't. I want the contact information for your home, for this house.
Well, give him your phone number first.
It's 239-244-7467.
And that's and the full name of the living facility?
It's Thomas's Living Sober House.
Okay. Is there a website?
There is, and he's going to say it, and I can't remember it now.
That's okay. Okay.
It's
not
livingsoberlife.com.
That's once again livingsoberlife.com. Thomas's Living Sober House in downtown or in Fort Myers, Florida. You take people from all over the United States, I assume. Because,
yes, we do, and we have.
All right. Are you affiliated with the court systems? Does the court systems know about you?
The court systems do know about us. We work with the drug court and the judges in drug court. So we've got people in the house right now that are part of drug court.
Okay. I am going to say, what am I going to say? I was going to say that your relapse caused you, what was the consequences to that relapse you had?
I lost everything again. Everything that I had
built up. Did we really
up,
lose stuff, or did we kind of just give it away?
Walk away from it?
Yeah, I mean, I did. I walked away from everything. But everything that I had built up, everything that I had attained through sobriety, I had done more things in almost 3 years of sobriety than I had done my entire life. I went back to college and stuck with it and got a degree, got accepted into FGCU, got straight A's at FGCU with a 3.95 GPA, opened a halfway house, traveled to Colorado, traveled all over the state of Florida.
So who in their right mind would just walk away from that?
Me.
Did. Well,
Right.
The answer is no one in their right mind.
Right. In the right mind. Not being in my right mind with a 12-step program and God and sponsorship and meetings, and without having that and giving up commitments in fellowships, I didn't have that. So when the choice came to either let her go do what she was going to do, I went with her for one night. Because that's all it was going to be, was one
night.
time.
Just this once.
Right. And, it took me almost 10 months to come back and make that decision that I had to start over.
Well, we're going to hear more about this. We're going to take a small break right now, and we're going to come back with Thomas and Colleen, feature from Thomas's Living Sober House in Fort Myers, Florida. That's where we're broadcasting on, and we'll be back in shortly. We are Rated R for Recovery.
Every Every Friday night at 6:45 p.m., experience Celebrate Recovery at Grace Church at 13 Southeast 21st Place in Cape Coral. The purpose of Celebrate Recovery is to encourage fellowship and to celebrate God's healing power in our lives as we work our way along the road to recovery. By working through the 12 steps and 8 principles of Celebrate Recovery, we grow spiritually and we are freed from our hurts, habits, and hang-ups. Celebrate Recovery every Friday night at 6:45 p.m. at Grace Church, 13 Southeast 21st Place in Cape Coral.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254. Have you been considering a kitchen renovation or bathroom remodeling? There's no one better to call than the professionals at Honey's Construction. Value, beauty, and functionality. Get the right design for your kitchen or bathroom and add significant value to your home. Call Honey's Construction today at 229-4934 for a free in-home consultation. Honey's Construction's purpose and mission is to fulfill dreams and to be grateful for the many blessings we enjoy each and every day. 229-4934.
If you're looking for a place to find recovery, please consider the 1149 Foundation, located at 50 Pine Island Drive in North Fort Myers in the AutoZone Plaza. We currently have 3 meetings per day at noon, 5:30, and 8 p.m. We've been offering this area a safe place for over 20 years. No matter what you've done, no matter where you've been, you're not alone, and are welcome at the 1149 Foundation. Come check us out or call 677-6107. That's 677-6107.
Get the taste of home while eating out. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering. Open daily for breakfast and lunch and located at 2400 First Street in downtown Fort Myers. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering specializes in homemade soups, salads, sandwiches, and desserts. And Gwendolyn's has been rated 5 stars by Urban Spoon and Yelp. Get the taste of home while dining out. Or let us bring the taste of home to your home with our free delivery. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering, 2400 First Street, downtown Fort Myers. Take full advantage of the beauty of Southwest Florida and spend the day with Estero River Outfitters. Located on 41 just north of Corkscrew Road, this historic location since 1977 offers kayak and canoe rentals and sales, a full fishing tackle shop, and live bait. Spend the day on the Estero River, kayaking, canoeing, or fishing. This is the only location in Southwest Florida where you can really try before you buy. Estero River Outfitters on 41 just north of Corkscrew Road. Open daily from 7 a to 6 p. Visit EsteroRiverOutfitters.com for more.
A Heavenly Cut Landscaping and Celebrate Pressure Washing has been serving Lee County for over 7 years. Commercial and residential landscaping is our specialty. We also have an experienced pressure cleaning staff as well. A Heavenly Cut Landscaping and Celebrate Pressure Washing offers a free on-site estimate and is available by calling 738-9009. That's 738-9009. We are grateful for the opportunity to help beautify your property. Call today, 738-9009. A Heavenly Cut Landscaping and Celebrate Pressure Washing.
That's going to leave a mark. But not if you bring your vehicle to Dehab Your Automotive Rehab, your one-stop shop for all auto body work and paint. No job too big or small. With over 25 years experience, Dehab can make your vehicle look like the accident never happened. Dehab Your Automotive Rehab is located at 2534 Highland Street, 1 block off Edison Avenue in Fort Myers. So if you have a scratch, ding, dent, or bent, call Dehab Your Automotive Rehab at 332-1813.
My name is April, and I'm an addict. I totaled my car and trashed the best guy I ever had before I got help. Thank God for Swaffis. They saved my life. Now I go for counseling once a week, and life is good.
Alcohol and drug problems don't have to ruin your life. Swaffis has outpatient, detox, and residential programs for all. Addiction is a disease. Recovery is possible. We will help. Call 332-6989 now or visit us online at swfas.org. Designs that are enduring. Designs that are engaging. designs from Ensight. Ensight is a leading Florida-based design, planning, and engineering firm offering innovative planning, landscape architecture, civil engineering, and more. Whether it's a place to live, work, learn, shop, or play, let the award-winning design team at Ensight help you achieve today's needs and tomorrow's possibilities. Call Ensight at 226-0024 or online at en-site.com.
Whiskey bottles and brand new cars, oak tree in my way. There's too much coke and too much smoke. Look what's going on inside you. Ooh, that smell. Can't you smell that smell? Ooh, that smell. The smell of death around you.
You're singing. Rated R for Recovery is what you're listening to. I
what
like
he says
that.
right there.
That's a song by Leonard Skinner, a band from Northern Florida called That Smell. And once again, you're listening to Rated R for Recovery. At some point, Joy, people will be able to call into the show, and that's going to
Yay.
happen real quick. We're just starting out again. We were broadcasting on a local radio station here in Southwest Florida, 100,000-watt radio station.
And people could call in then, but
They
it was
could.
way too early in the morning.
Actually, they gave us a little bit longer period
Yeah.
there, and then it just
There at the
it
end.
ended as quickly as it started. We hardly knew you. But we're back, and we're better than ever.
Better than ever.
Yeah.
Rare to go.
Sometimes we have colds. Our guest in the studio today is Thomas and Colleen. They are mother and son, and they run and own Thomas's Living Sober House in downtown Fort Myers, Florida, a residential place where people can hang their hats and not drink or do drugs. Right?
What great way to get back on your feet.
It is. It is. So if you're coming out of jails or prison, you need a place to go that's safe, we would encourage you to get a hold of them. And the number again, Thomas?
Is 239-244-7467.
And Colleen, which is mom, the website?
Is livingsoberlife.com.
That is livingsoberlife.com. Now, where were we? Where did we leave off?
Towards the end of my relapse.
Okay, so now I want your mom to take over again. Colleen, so all of a sudden, so did he disappear?
He disappears.
And you don't know where he's at?
Well, what he told me he was doing is transferring from FGCU, that he wanted to go to a larger college, and that he was transferring up to Orlando. And I don't know if he really did go before the board there and get accepted. I think he did. And really, he was going there with this girl because that's where she's from.
Are you using at this time when you're telling her this?
No, I was actually sober after I had relapsed. Prior to having 3 years, I stayed out for 2 months, smoking crack every night, and I decided
This
I'm
is
done
before
with
the
that.
house opened.
No, this is
No.
while the house was open and
He
running.
had a little relapse.
I had a relapse for 2 months.
Yeah?
And came back for a month.
Okay.
But told my mom that, I'm coming back to get back on my feet. I still had my job. I was still making really good money, and
Did you?
I was going to be moving out.
Did you still have your job?
Yes.
Okay.
I know. I don't know how.
All
I
right.
don't know.
Well, I lied a lot. That's why I was asking. So you stay sober a month. Now you're back in job. The job's going. You've been accepted where?
I transferred from Florida Gulf Coast University to University of Central Florida in East Orlando.
Did you actually go there?
I
You know
I
what
got
I'm saying?
right. I got accepted.
Yeah.
I didn't tell my parents.
No.
I had told them I got accepted,
Yeah.
but I didn't tell them I was I didn't tell them when I was moving. I got a U-Haul, packed everything, grabbed her, packed everything, and moved to Orlando without saying a word.
Why?
Because I knew my mom would not like that, and I didn't want to upset her before I left.
So you figure by just leaving town in a U-Haul in the middle of the night that won't upset her.
No, it was in the middle of the day.
What you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what happened?
I didn't want to face it. And from the minute I got in Orlando, I was away from everything, everybody that knew anything about me, and I could be whoever I wanted, and I wanted to use again. So I instantly started drinking, smoking pot, and for the first time in my life, taking those little blue pills.
And the chick's right along with you. She's using too?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
And the children.
And what?
Yes.
What do you mean the children?
19, 18, 17 years old.
Oh, okay. There. Well, not okay, but I thought you
Right.
meant children,
No,
meaning
not-
little tiny
no.
people. Okay. So now what brings you back to Mom?
I had ran out of everything, car broke down, got fired from my job that I had transferred to Orlando. You know, somehow, some way, miraculously, I kept my job through my relapse until the very end. And I got fired from Bahama Breeze in Orlando. So I called up Mom, told her I was done, and I don't know, we talked, and she yelled at me a little bit, and an hour into the conversation, I asked her, "Are you coming to get me?" And she was already on her way. She was already close to Tampa. You know,
During
She
this
was-
phone conversation, you were in the car
She
driving
already-
to get him.
Yep.
That's unconditional love. That's what that is, Joy, is it? Or it's either that or it's enabling, one of the two. Which do you think it is?
Well, it depends on how it works out.
In this case, it worked out for the better.
Yes.
Yeah, so far. No, not to put any limitations on anything. Mom, what was what was going through your heart, your mind, and your soul at this point?
Well, it's crushing because it's here we go again. That's when he left. I was really angry that time when he left because so much had been built back. And then we didn't talk much when you were in Orlando. Just, I did get your address, but we didn't talk much. And then, I mean, I could hear it in his voice. He was desperate at that point when he was coming back.
What
But
did
then
you-
he still didn't come back.
What did you do?
I went to Orlando to get him.
Was he there when you got there?
He was there, and at 10 o'clock at night, I had a mobile mechanic come and fix his car, and then I went and got a hotel room, and we spent the night with the intention of getting up in the morning and driving back to Fort Myers.
And what happened?
When we got up in the morning, he told me he couldn't leave.
Did you ask him why?
Yeah.
And his answer was what?
He has a very good heart. All the people,
does.
all the people have really good hearts. They're really intelligent. I'm just shocked sometimes. But his reasoning at the time was she has a daughter who I believe fell, and she had her jaw wired shut. And they needed to go to the hospital and whatnot there. And this girl that he was involved in was in a really bad way. And he said, I can't leave her because if I leave her and she dies, that's on me.
Now I want you, Joy, to tell, you're playing Mom. What do you say at this point? You have a lot of experience with recovery. You have many, many years of working what they call the deal.
Well, what I do is, you kiss them on their pointy little head and say, I love you, but you're either coming with me or you're staying here to do this. If you're going to stay here and do this, I can't help you. I can only help you, if you're willing to come home. And then I get in the car and go.
And what did you do?
I got in the car and I went. And
You went home? You
I
came
went
home?
home. I went home, and I was beyond angry at that point, at everybody, everything. But the more I thought about it, then if you know Thomas, you know why he did what he did. And at first, I had to understand, was he pulling my leg to get his car fixed? Because believe me, that's happened in the past too. Or was he right? Was he really sincere in wanting to come and start over? And so eventually he did do that within a couple weeks. But as I drove and thought about it, then it made sense to me of who he is, that yes, in fact, he couldn't leave her.
I have no opinion on this at all.
No.
That's uncharted waters
No,
for me.
again, every situation is different, and people are adults. You can't just ground them. You can't
Put
just,
yourself
there's so
in
many
Mom's
things you can't
position.
do.
You drive all the way. You drive 4 hours to get your son, who you think is coming back home with you. You pay for him to get his vehicle fixed because, this is so manipulative. This is me. I've got it written all over it.
And give me
then
some
you
money
say,
for
I'm
food.
not. Yeah, give me. And then all of a sudden, I've got the money. My car's fixed, but I'm not going with you. Put yourself in that position.
I've been in that position. So you kiss them on their pointy little heads and say, I love you, but I got to go.
All right. Now, so you're doing opiates. You're physically addicted, right?
I never had any. I used in Orlando every single day, 2 pills of Roxy's and
No crack?
Crack a couple times.
Yeah. It's hard to find in Orlando, was it?
No.
No.
But I actually like the opiate high. I like.
Oh, okay.
It.
Okay.
You
All right.
know, and
So-
I could still function.
So we
I
got to
could
we got to
still
kind of
work.
wrap this up, but this is compelling. So where are we? Okay, we got a few minutes left. So you finally say, all right, you got the home people straightened away, right? The daughter with the wired shut jaw and the girlfriend, and said, I got to go. I'm going back home to get help.
Well, no, this was the thing. When she had contacted me the morning that we were leaving, we were literally leaving Orlando, and she called me and begged me, and I couldn't. So I asked my mom. I said, "Give me 48 hours, and I'll be home."
And what happened?
And I don't know, 5 days. It took me 5 days to. I literally left everything I owned in Orlando, but I went back. I told her at that point in time, if I stay here, I'm taking you and the girls, and we're going back to Fort Myers to get sober. And she agreed.
And what happened? Did she come back?
She came back.
And the girls?
And the girls came back, and the girls ran away again. And, there's a grandchild involved that we had raised for a year and a half. And I can say that she's still sober today.
The
But we're not
grandchild?
together.
I hope not the grandchild.
No.
No. Okay.
Grandchild was never used.
All right. Good. So, all right, Mom. So he comes back now. He's back. What's going on with you and the?
Well, at that point, I wasn't speaking to him, and we were running a Monday night meeting at that point at the house.
This is a meeting that works that we started there.
Yes.
The one that we have there.
Yes, on Monday nights, and so little by little, he started trying to wheedle himself back in.
Wheedle himself back. He could come to the meeting, right?
Right.
Nobody can keep him from coming to the meeting.
Right.
Okay. Who's running the
but
house?
He was probably, my husband and I were, and had been.
Okay.
And he was probably a bit afraid to come to that meeting the first time that he came. But he came. And so, little by little, because I swore when I left Orlando, I'm done at this point. I'm done. Don't ever call me again. Don't ever.
Oh, I know.
Because of the road that we've been down, and people are like, you're crazy, everything that you've done for him. But someone told me once, no matter what happens, don't ever give up on him. And so that's how I operate. So I wouldn't talk to him. But little by little, he worked his way back in.
And what's it like today?
By doing the right thing.
What's it like today? That's what we want to know. What's it like today?
Today I have a life beyond my wildest dreams.
What does that mean? I hated that saying.
Me too. I had some pretty wild dreams.
Yeah.
I had some pretty wild dreams too, but, I didn't think I would ever be able to wake up and not have the obsession in my mind to use crack cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Or drink. My entire life from 12 years old until I was about 26 or 27 revolved around having and needing and my mind just focusing on that one thing. No matter what, that's what my life revolved around.
Well, okay.
And today, my life revolves around recovery and having fun in recovery and helping other people. It's just amazing that I went from living on the streets and smoking crack on a daily basis to having graduated college, running a men's sober living house, the relationship with my parents, the relationship with my brother, the fellowship, it's unbelievable, and it just blows my mind that today I walk the earth a free man.
Amen. All right, and what's it like for you and your husband and your brother? I mean, your son and your other son and your husband.
It's very hopeful, especially with the older son, because he was angry for a very long time. And it's helped everybody through this whole process. Everyone's learned. We've all learned a lot about addiction that we didn't know. I thought I knew things that I really didn't know because of my father being an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
We've all learned a lot, and his brothers come around quite a bit. So we're very hopeful.
Well, what do you think, Joy?
I think that's a great way to end a story.
I think that recovery is possible. It's there, and it's free.
And while there's breath, there's hope.
Amen. So there's hope for the hopeless. I forget the rest of the song. It's a great song. Next week, we'll have another guest, and we'll continue to do this each and every week. Before we leave, I want to say that Thomas is a productive member of society. He's a good friend of mine. He helps me more than he might know. And I have a little business that I have to lift stuff, and he lifts them things for me.
Yeah.
So he's very helpful. He's very well liked. He's very well loved. And we want to thank you both for being here.
Thanks a lot.
You've
Thank
been
you for
listening
the
to Rated R for
opportunity.
Recovery. We'll see you next week.
Woo.